Chocks and Chockets in between Chocobirds here for another video review. It's a bit of a cramped one. we've got this Asda Xmas Yule Log Essentials, basically, or Xmas Just Essentials, or just Xmas Essentials even, a Yule Log. Comparing it with this more elaborate, expensive one, this chocolate fudge Yule Log, also from Asda. So it's just to see whether basically, you can see this one's got like some kind of covering on it, hasn't it? Big fudge covering, presumably, because it's a chocolate fudge Yule Log. It's just whether it's the same thing, but just covered in, same thing as this, just covered in fudge, basically. Just how good this compares to it, really. Now, of course, as I do another elaborate one, which I might have reviewed in the past, I'm not sure, I don't know if I've reviewed this one, which costs about £1 more. So there's another one, but that just seems to have another, I don't know, some kind of, just something else on top of it, basically. That's about the only difference, I think. So, they're not massively different, really. So, of course, as I say, it could be that this one, let's say, isn't that much cheaper than these ones. And it's just whether it's worth just going for the nice elaborate one, really, or whether it's just all packaging. But, clearly you can see this one's got a nice dusting on top, a nice coating, but the sensor doesn't look too dissimilar, does it? You know what I mean? So there we go, so we'll see. Yeah, so I'll compare with this one. Alright, so let's have a look at the, what's the descriptions like then? Let's have a look. So, of course, I'm not going to go over this in massive detail, but well, I say that I usually go over these in quite a lot of detail, don't I? But I'm not going to sort of compare the ingredients like for like, you know what I mean? So obviously pause the video now and get the ingredients, and you can compare that with the other one in a minute when I show it. But just it's chocolate sponge with chocolate flavoured buttercream covered in milk chocolate and milk chocolate fudge icing, finished with a sweet dusting. All right. You see, so milk chocolate fudge icing 47%. Anything else? Got loads of stuff in there, hasn't it, really? But I think we've got Belgian milk chocolate, it says there as well. Belgian milk chocolate. Anything else of interest? Unsalted butter. Cocoa mass. Got an asterisk next to it, whatever that means. Reinforced light certified. There we go. Okay. I want to see, it's got palm oil in there, basically. Yeah, all right. We've got, it got 8 servings, so 400 grams, 472 calories. 24 grams of fat, 16 of which are saturates. So 400 grams is actually less than, calorie-wise, it's less than chocolate bars typically are per 100 grams, at least from my reviewing experience. Per 8 for the log, 278 calories, 40 grams of fat, 9.4 of which are saturates. Assuming like roughly an eighth of it is, probably about 40 grams or something. So is there a weightage on this somewhere? I assume there is, but can I see it? That's the that is the question. We could work it out technically, couldn't we? You know what I mean? Using the 100 grams and the thingy bob, and then per eighth of it. But it'd be nice if it told you. I guess the problem is they can't really tell you the weight because it might not be quite the same every time. I noticed that with a few cake products before, particularly the Light Body Ventures ones never give you the weights. They're sort of Thornton's products. Alright, well, I can't see. I don't think there is a weight on it unless I've missed it. It's somewhere obvious, but yeah. Alright, well, I think it's about 40 grams. It's roughly an eighth, if I'm looking at that. Well, let's have a look at the other one then. Let's have a see. So, it's got this sort of new Just Essentials range packaging that Asda's doing. Pretty not bad, actually. Pretty not bad. Pretty not bad. Not bad, the Just Essentials range. It seems to be quite good, and they do a few pieces, actually. It was like 75p for a pizza. Cheese and tomato pizza, and I actually tried one to see what it was like, and it wasn't bad, actually. I don't know, it was cheese and tomato. I did a pepperoni one as well. I didn't try the pepperoni one, but it tasted just like any other cheese and tomato pizza. Maybe the ingredients are not the best in the world, I don't know, but I assume not. But it's not to say that the other ones that cost 3-4 times more aren't any better. So I was impressed anyway. Getting away from that. Let's have a look. So I'm about to. There we go. So yeah. I did this just before, just leading up to this. I was just moving it basically, and it just, guess how worse it is, but it fell off the table basically and just landed on something with a hard edge. So hopefully I'm sure it'll still be fine on the inside. Chocolate sponge with chocolate flavoured buttercream covered in milk chocolate with a sweet dusting. So it does have a dusting on. Milk chocolate 24%. Palm oil in there again. So 400 grams, 435 calories, 22 grams of fat, 14 of which are saturates, and per 8 for the log. 143 calories, 7.3 grams of fat, 4.7 of which are saturates. So per eighth though this time. So the log is obviously a lot smaller, that's the thing, isn't it? You can see an eighth, this time it's 143 calories, but per 100 grams it's 435, so it's You know, so an 8 for a log in this case is not like 40 grams like last one. It's probably 30 grams, something like that, maybe. So it's a smaller product, you know what I mean? So it's not the same weightage, basically. It's on my maths anyway. All right, so but calorie-wise, it is fewer calories per 100 grams than the other one. But I guess you would probably expect that considering the other one's got loads of loads of shenanigans on it. So see, roughly compare them side by side, maybe. Can we do that? Just about. But 435 versus 472. But the fat's not too dissimilar. You can clearly see the Just Essentials one has got a fewer ingredients in it. No Belgian milk chocolate, I assume, in the regular one. So to be honest with you, I mean, the Just Essential one actually looks to be the worst value for money really out of the two. To be honest with you, I'm just wondering whether it really is a bit of a con actually in this case. You know, judging from it. So that's interesting. It's not the angle I was thinking of, but yeah. All right. So yeah, let's give them both an open then, shall we? See what they're like. Okay, let's do it. Let's give them both an open. Right, okay, we're going to give these Yule Logs an open. So we've got the Asda Essentials one here and the sort of more expensive chocolate fudge one here. Give them both an open. Yeah, so interesting for sure. I think there's not much difference in price. I would have put it on the screen before, but it's only about £1.50 or something difference. This one basically looks to be a lot bigger than this one, but from what's I can say on the back of it, it doesn't actually give you a weightage on it, I don't think. But just working out per 100 grams on the calories, it does seem to imply that basically this one has a lot less, you know, weight than this one. You know, so basically you pay a bit more, but you get a bit more of this one. It's not just about its lesser quality. It does have the Rainforest Alliance symbol here, so yeah, there we go. So even the cheaper one does have the same. Well, at least it does have Rainforest Alliance certified cocoa in it. So maybe it's as much, I don't know, but there we are. Okay, so let's give them an opening, shall we? So I'll open this one first. Move this one out of the way, just to give myself a bit more space. Alright, let's see. Give it an open. Alright. I guess it looks pretty good, doesn't it, that? I'm not too... yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It looks pretty nice. It's sort of haphazard shape. Just go down a bit, but I think that's not bad. It does look a bit like a mini roll Yule log, but made even bigger. So I'm happy with that. Yeah. Okay, let's... Obviously comes in plastic, the one didn't. It's a bit possibly better protected than the other one. Although obviously with no chocolates around, or fudge dusting or whatever, it'd be pretty difficult to have the plastic cover on your one. So that's pretty good, that, doesn't it? It does look pretty good. That was pretty nice, that. I think that's really good. I think that's very nice. Not unhappy with that at all, you know. Yeah. Alright, let's give it a bit of a weigh then, shall we? Okay, so we got the old up here, so we'll perhaps put the plate on. Okay, there we go. Alright. Right, so 279 basically there. Alright, let's go back to the other one then. Let's open that one. Okay, right, let's give this one a bit of an open then. So, a bit of plastic around the outside of this one, not on the inside. The one I was pretty impressed with, you know. Let's see what... Study one didn't not feel that cheap, really, to be fair, you know. I think it looked quite nice, actually. I wouldn't be averse to eating it. Try and get rid of all this plastic. This one obviously has impacted against the top of it, but it's not, you know, difficult to avoid that, I think, but nonetheless it has. Okay. This one's a bit more messy. I think this one comes in a plastic tray. I just touched it slightly. Yeah. Okay, alright. Well, yeah, this one definitely has more of an interesting look to it. But is it just piping? You know what I mean? Is that all the difference? Is it just piping around the edge? You know, is it really that much different? But it definitely has more of a look to it. You can see that the side is... It's like piped on the top, then sort of roughly piped around the sides. I guess that's the way it would be, but you can see it's, you know, I don't know. Looks all right. It looks all right. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's try and weigh this one, shall we? It does feel a lot heavier, though. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a lot heavier, this one. Right, so it's going to be... the problem we've got is got the plastic tray as well. That's the problem we've got. I don't know how easy it is to weigh this, really. Yeah, I don't know. How are we gonna how am I gonna do it? Alright, let's see what we can achieve. Okay. Let's tear that now. And find the button. Can I find the button? Okay, let's put it on. Okay. So 478, look at that. 478. It's basically 200 grams heavier, you know, than the other one. It's almost double what the other one is. And it feels that. And obviously it's got fluff, you know, frosting around the edge. But that's not going to weigh that much, is it? You know, it's buttercream, you know what I mean? So it's massively more substantial than the Just Essentials one. Really is, yeah. So considering, you know what I mean, the price isn't that much different really. I think this one definitely seems to be getting a lot more for your money, to be honest with you. Okay, well, let's give them a bit of a slice then, shall we? So we'll introduce them both. I mean, so, you know, yeah, we'll give them a bit of a slice and let's see. So I'll move this one slightly first. We'll bring the other one back and we'll remove the remove the scales. Why not? Don't need them anymore. All right. Okay, it's a bit of a palaver reviewing these things like this, you know, these versus ones and stuff, it has to be said, but there we go. Alright, I think we're back on track. Is it nearly the sensor? It's censored again. Yeah, no, something like that. Alright. Okay, that'll do. We've got a bit of stuff going on there, but there we are. Alright. We'll tell you what we'll do, we'll measure it as well, roughly. So the length of it is about 16.5 centimetres there. And this one, roughly, again very roughly, about 18 centimetres, but a lot of that's going to be piping. Don't want to touch it with a knife. About 18 centimetres, but obviously, yeah, it does have loads of piping. And the height, again, roughly, about 5 centimetres. And this one, well, a bit harder to do. Let's see if we can just about do it. About 6 centimetres, but again, I expect that to be because of the piper. So they're roughly probably about the same size, really. Alright, let's give one a cut. Got a massive knife here, look at that. Got the proper knife this time. Crocodile Dundee one. Well, not quite, but okay, let's give it a cut down the edge. Feels a nice cut there. Yeah, not bad. Probably move this bit away. I don't think we need that bit now. Okay, yes, there we are. So, you know, not a bad sense of that. Looks pretty good. Nice thick chocolate cover as well. I think that looks pretty good actually. It's just whether it's worth. It's just whether it's really that much. I don't know. It's just whether it's. It's whether it's. I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad, does it? Really, to be honest with you, it's just whether it's. I don't know. Are you paying too much for this? Basically, I think. You know, is it? You know, I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? It's hard to say. All right, let's try and get this off. So I think we can keep on the tray this time, maybe. It's going to be a bit dirty, isn't it? We'll go with it. Okay, there we go. All right, let's give a bit of a cut then. Similar cuts. Feels quite similar-ish. Okay. Can we through to it? There we go. So you can see there is a difference. There's a lot less sponge, I think, on the Just Essentials one. There's a lot nicer swirl. It's also a bit neater, doesn't it? This one here. It does feel heavier as well. Maybe it is the icing, you know, the icing sugar, whatever it's around here, that gives it the heaviness. It does feel like it's got more of a heft. This one definitely feels lighter, but as I say, it could just be the surround. It feels like it might be actually. I was saying before, you wouldn't have thought there'd be much weight in the, you know, the wig. It does feel like it's quite heavy. Has to be said, actually. You can see as well, you know, the swirls on the box. I don't know. So look, there's a swirl there. In fact, they seem to be reversed almost, don't they? The Essentials one must be a lot thinner than the. Must be quite a thick swirl on the box of the fudge one. The thin one, that one, which actually seems to be thicker in the Just Essentials one. You know what I mean? So you've got the Just Essentials there. What thicker? It looks more like the one here, you know. In fact, it looks the same as that, doesn't it? Well, the mirror image. There's this one. Difficult to pick up really, so messy. You know, a thinner swirl. A bit more like the one on the right as you look. But there we go. Yeah. But you know, I'm happy. I think that looks pretty good. I think it looks really good. I'd say the weight is definitely the wig. I think for this, it just has a very lot of heft to it. This surround, you know, it's coming away really. But they generally look roughly quite similar, really. But how did it taste? Well, let's find out. Let's give them a taste. Right, okay, everyone. There's no neat way of doing this, but basically we're reviewing these two while comparing them. Really, while we're reviewing them and comparing them, they're basically just essentials, or just Xmas essentials Yule log from Asda, and they're some chocolate fudge Yule log as well. This one's £1.85, and this one's £3.50, but this one seems to weigh 200 grams more than this one. So you know, swings and roundabouts, and they both look reasonably good actually, as you would have seen hopefully if you saw the rest of the video. Just the other one's got a sort of big fudge surround really, so you know, give them a bit of a taste. We'll compare them. See, this one's just got a lot of buttercream around the edge basically, you know what I mean, whereas this one just looks a bit more like a Cadbury mini roll Yule log or whatever, you know what I mean. So all right, well let's yeah, I'm quite excited with these, I must say. So let's give this one a bit of a taste then. Let's do it. This is the essentials one. It's nice, that. It is quite nice. A bit of a saltiness to it, but I don't think that's unusual. It's not bad. Yeah, it's a nice buttercream, nice sponge. The sponge is good. And the surround is pretty nice. That chocolate surround as well just gives it a bit of a crunch, you know. It's actually pretty good, that. I think this one might, I think this one might just taste a lot of icing or whatever, buttercream or something like that, you know. But see if that makes all the difference, you know what I mean. It was an impressive one though. I think it tasted quite nice. Let's try this one. Yeah, it's basically, you can see how thick it is actually. Not like this is an edge piece, of course, so there's not much by way of sponge. Maybe I'll slice another bit off, so there's a bit more sponge involved. So it's just less icing or whatever. You know, just a little bit here. But you know what? It's basically, it sort of falls apart as well. I was holding it there, it just all fell apart, you know, because it's so heavy around the edge of it. This bit's just so heavy, you know. I don't think that really adds much to it, you know. Otherwise, you're just left with the sponge, you know. It tastes all right. I think this one is pretty good, you know. I mean, the chocolate surround really does add quite a lot to it, actually. It gives you a bit of a extra taste. This one does come across as a bit drier, but that's because it's just not got that wet surround, basically. You know, the massive buttercream, or whatever it is, icing, fudge icing. I think the buttercream's in the centre, isn't it? No. So it's going to come across as a bit drier, but there's enough buttercream to counter that, and I do like the chocolate surround. It doesn't really taste much, it's just a texture really, but I mean, it generally has a sort of, there's a bit of a taste that comes across as a bit sort of maybe not the best quality. Just as you're able to taste, you're able to discern the flavours a bit more, because this one's just all fudge frosting, you know. Yeah, I think for me, you know, I think I do prefer the essentials one. I think it's I think this one is just too much. Because if you like this stuff, if you like this icing or whatever you want to call it, this massive thick layer of shenanigans around the edge, you know what I mean? It's so thick, it really is. It looks great, but I mean that really is buttercream, to be honest with you. But anyway, it's just really thick, you know, and it really dominates it, to be honest with you. And I've had the Yule Logs in the past actually, and I've always kind of felt I prefer them without that sort of massive covering of Yeah, I think it just goes icing, doesn't it? Yeah, covered in milk chocolate and milk chocolate fudge icing. I just feel that's just too much, really. I just prefer the Yule Logs without them. I actually do prefer the Essentials one. I think you know, and I think the weight, as I say, with this one, is just coming from that heavy icing surround anyway as well. This feels really heavy. I mean, there's hardly any sponge there. You know, you can see, but the sponge, of course, will be quite light. But yeah, so you know, this one weighed about 200 grams more. It's all from that sort of fudge icing. It's not that great. You know, it's too much of it. So for me, I think the Essentials one really good. It's just like a giant Cadbury's mini roll Yule log. You know what I mean? It's it's nice. I much prefer it. Yeah. You know, I'd say it depends what you like for Yule logs. If you like that sort of the covering that Yule logs have, I mean that's kind of how Yule logs are meant to be, though, really, isn't it? That's the other thing I forgot to kind of mention. Yule logs tend to have those coverings, don't they? That is what they're about generally. I mean, they don't always do, but generally they do. So if you really do like that part, and if you think that's an integral part of a Yule log, you know, you probably will really prefer this one. But I don't know. For me, I think that it just overpowers it, makes it too sickly. Obviously, this is an edge piece. You know, the rest of them are not going to be quite that bad. But even then, it's still there. When you know, yeah, you know, and it falls apart as well because it doesn't, you know, this just falls apart because it's so heavy and things. I don't know. It's just a bit. It's possible that this could fall apart because of the icing around the edge and things like that. But I'm not sure if it's just because it was an edge piece or whatever. But it definitely adds a lot of weight. I do think myself, it just doesn't really add much to it, all that sort of butter icing or whatever it's called around the edge. You know what I mean? It's just really heavy, really buttery, really sweet. Some people really might love that, but for me, it just takes away from the cake. And I think this surround of the the Just Essentials one, this chocolate surround and this dusting is a lot. You can taste it as well. You know, it's easy to taste that. You know, whereas this one, you can't really taste the frosting as such on this one. It's just all too sweet. You know. Yeah, so for me, I think the fudge one, the more expensive one, you obviously get a lot more in it and things. But I think for me, you know, I don't know. I just feel like there's too much of the outside, and while it's really indulgent and really nice, I think really as a cake product for me, it's a 2 out of 5. Really, you know. But the other one, the Just Essentials one, I mean, bear in mind it's a lot cheaper, just a lot better, really. I think it's a good 4, maybe even a 4.5. I don't think I'm going to say a 4.5, but it's certainly closer to a 4.5 than it is to a 3.5. That's for sure. I think maybe it's just got a bit of a, you know, it's lacking an air of quality. Well, it's not really lacking one. It doesn't have like an X factor really for it. You know, it does taste like you're eating just a giant Cadbury's mini Yule log. You know, and they're really nice, but I don't know. I feel like it's just. I'm just trying to say it's missing like an indulgence, but then this one does have the indulgence. You know what I mean? And it's not any better for it. So, you know, and it's just about a 4.5 out of 5. You know, I think they've just kept it simple and it works, and it doesn't taste any worse for being that. You know what I mean? It's not massively cheaper, £1.65 or something, but it's you know, it's arguably slightly healthier for you. Is less in it, you know, less calories and stuff, you know. So there's that as well, I guess. But I don't feel like I'm getting a nice product. I think it doesn't look as great. I think that's the thing. You know, if you had it for dessert for Christmas or something or whatever, any kind of, you know, it doesn't have the gravitas the one, it doesn't have the X factor the one, it doesn't have the look, you know, of something special the new one does. But then I don't think the new one looks that great either, really, you know. So I think the new one's just a more solid all round thing, but it doesn't have the sort of, you know, doesn't look as good as the other one. But I wouldn't say the other one looks that great either. You know what I mean? I think you can probably, you know, but you know, yeah, I don't think it looks that great either, this one, to be honest with you. So yeah, so I think it won, yeah, 4.5 out of 5. It just is really nice. It's just a lot nicer. As I say, it did have a bit of a sort of taste that made me feel maybe not quite as, you know, quite as good a cocoa or something type taste to it, but I think it's just really got lovely textures and the proportioned really well. You know, it just works really well. Yeah, I think it's well deserving of a 4.5 out of 5. It's certainly closer to a 4 than a 5, but you know, yeah, I'm very happy with that. Okay, guys, so enjoyed that review. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Leave a comment or feel. Let me know what you think of Yule Logs are, what you prefer, whether you like all this sort of icing, coating, thick shenanigan that goes on. It's buttercreamy type covering, whatever it is. Anyway, it's thick butter icing, I think, is the gist of it. Whether you like that or not, let me know what you think. Yeah, leave a comment or free. Check out the YouTube member program. Check out the Discord server. Links for those in the description. Have a great day as well. And I'll see you next time. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Bye for now. See ya.